Hello, my name is Kayleen Bankson, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about some negotiation strategies that we can kind of use as in sales practice. But first, I want to begin with a couple strategies in how to make negotiations kind of a win-win solution. The first thing that I want to start off by saying is to go in with a plan and be prepared. And I know that that's something that sounds cliche. Almost textbook, huh? But it does sound kind of cliche to go into something being prepared, but it's definitely a necessity when you want to go in and you know what you're saying, you know what you're doing, and then you can execute it much more with clean lines. The second thing that I would suggest in order to kind of get some win-win solutions out of negotiations as a whole would be to say what you mean and mean what you say. The book of James talks about let your yes be yes and let your no be a no, and I think that that is such a true statement to what we're practically doing in sales, is to say what you mean and then let it go and allow there to be a pause, allow there to be space for someone to answer. And don't try to justify why you're saying what you're selling or what you're doing. Allow it to just be a yes and allow it to just be a no. And then the third thing that I would suggest for strategies in negotiating win-win solutions would be to always value the value proposition, meaning that you always circle back to the why behind the what, the mission behind what you're trying to sell, and the bigger picture, so that it gets people thinking about something beyond just a number on a check. And I think that that's definitely a really good idea to go in to kind of strategize for negotiating win-win solutions. So the next thing that I want to talk about is some negotiation strategies. So there are 9 of these strategies, just a couple that I'll mention. There's question, indirect denial, direct denial, trial offer, feel, felt, found are just a few of those. The one that I'm going to be specifically focusing on today is feel, felt, found. This is said with caution, both as what was expressed in class as well as what is in our textbook. Says to just use this technique with caution because it has been around for so long that some people may kind of catch on to what you're doing and may find that more negative than anything else. I personally think it's been around so long because it works. I've actually used this in my own internship experience and have found that it works very well. People want things to kind of touch not just the analytical, practical side of things, although many people are more focused on that. I think every human being has emotions that we as salespeople need to tap into in a certain aspect, whether that's a need or a want. But either way, there's kind of a desire for something more than just a number on a check to be brought out. So I think that this technique really emphasizes that draw towards being incorporating your emotions. So basically how this technique works is you first acknowledge the customer's feelings. So they feel discomfort, they feel frustrated, confused about a certain part. You want to acknowledge what they're feeling, or maybe they're anxious. That's a really good one. So you want to acknowledge that they do feel that way. You don't want to deny that. You want to acknowledge it and bring it to the light. The second thing you want to do is extend the same feelings with a larger audience. That's the kind of the feel was the first part, then this goes into the felt, like people that I've worked with have felt this way before. So my clients have previously felt your anxiety towards this decision or whatever. So it's making them more relatable to a larger audience. And then the last thing is you want to counter with a legitimate argument, something that's going to mean something. So that's kind of the found. So that's where the but comes in, where I recognize that you feel this way. My previous clients or my current clients have felt that way, but what I have found or what they have found is fill in the blank. So like an example of this might say, like a customer might say, oh, this product that you're offering us is overpriced. This isn't worth it. And you as a salesperson might come back and say, oh, well, our products are slightly more than the competition's, and I can certainly see why you feel that way. So you've incorporated the feel in the first part, you've acknowledged that they have a feeling that they are uneasy about this is overpriced, this is something I'm not comfortable with. So you're acknowledging what they're feeling, that it's a legitimate reasoning. And then you move on towards other customers have felt that way at first. So you're moving into the larger audience and saying, like, other people, you're not alone in this. Other people have felt this way. And that's the second part of the technique. And then you move into the third, which is kind of the but, the however, when you kind of switch it over to saying something like, however, when they take the time to examine the product's quality, what they have found is that it's worth it. So that's kind of the incorporating and tying all of those three kind of steps together to create one cohesive statement or phrase that goes together using the technique of relating to someone's emotions. You know, that I understand that you feel this way. Other people have felt that way. But what I have found, or what they have found, is that in the end, it's worth it somehow. And what we have to offer is the best for this particular reason. So I think that that's one of the best techniques that you can use in negotiating sales, or in closing, or even in opening, or whenever someone has a place of concern. I think it's a great option to use to tap into someone's emotions, to kind of connect at a deeper level. So that would be my biggest suggestion in negotiating, and a strategy that I have. Although I think it definitely depends upon one's personality. So whatever your personality kind of matches with, that's the kind of methodology that I would tend to direct towards. So yeah, I hope you enjoy, and thank you so much.